Hi, we're starting a little early. Hello. Guess we're on. Screen next to my. Oh, you're live. Hi, guys. We're live. We're a little early tonight simply because, unfortunately, Rich is not feeling very well tonight. He has had a fever all night. He did go to the doctors and he came out, started the show, and is back in bed. So, since I'm not really sure how to start the show, I thought let's start it a little early in case we have a problem. So, I'm assuming we're live. If anybody is out there, say hi and let us know you're there. Apparently, we have some stuff happening there, so I'm guessing you can hear me now, but we still have a few minutes before anybody would pop on. So, yeah. Hey, happy Friday. Hope everybody's well. I'm just going to sit here and wait till I see some viewer pop in. I'm hoping Larry will pop in. Hello. Just putting it out there just in case. We are live, I think. Since it's not 9 o'clock. Normally we see some people already popping in because of, Richard plays his music and there's a couple people out there that really love listening to it. So, pop in and say hi if you're here. And, we'd like to, I see a chat rate. 2 people are concurrent, but that's probably me and Pappy.
I'm not even on yet. I'm taking selfies over at myself, trying to say how I look the least amount fat. Man, my face is red already. Look how red my face is. Holy mackerel.
Yes, I do see people popping in. So if you're there, say hi. If you have the capability of being in the chat, we are here today. Happy Friday.
The giant boy's stunning height left more than a...
Oh, sorry about that.
Happy Good Friday. Boy, when Richard's not here handling this, it gets really crazy.
That's show.
Hope everybody had a great week. Today we were supposed to have Bob on, but again, Richard is feeling very much under the weather, so you got us.
It's a leper ward in my house, okay? Let's just say like it is. I've never seen the boy so sick.
No, and he really doesn't get sick. So, well, he has been lately, but that's because we have 2 petri dishes in the house as well. And yeah, we took Lane to the playground 2 days ago, and he's like really big into kissing the little toys. And hey, Eric, love you, glad you're here. Hey, Lar, glad to see you. I'm still trying to get this up on my phone and the things.
I'm up. We're broadcasting. Hello,
okay.
people.
Well, I'm trying to see where I can see it.
I'm just going to let Eric and Larry take over the show.
Because apparently I'm sucking tonight. It's really difficult when my son is not here with us.
That's okay. I'm a professional broadcaster myself. I got this under control.
Yeah, so welcome everybody that is out there. I hope everybody had a great week. We had an amazing week. My sister came in from California on Monday. Well, really Monday. She came in from California, but she came in via Detroit and is here for the week and has decided to extend that week to another week. Yay, me! No, I love her. We're having a nice time. We're having a nice visit. I haven't wanted to kill her yet. So,
or vice versa.
Yes. We are great.
I'm just glad we got a king size bed, because man, it is tight. It is tight in there.
We
bet.
are the best of friends when we're not living together.
So true.
So I just want to wish everybody a happy
Good Friday.
Good Friday. Bob was supposed to be here, but I told him that it would probably be a better idea for him not to be here. I think tomorrow we put up the quarantine tape. And
Put up them tents like an ET. Remember ET?
yeah, and the little white
Decontamination
suits.
tent.
So Richard's just feeling very under the weather, so he's not going to be here with us tonight, and that's fine. We can do this. We can handle it. But if we have any technical issues during the show, guess what? If you see us just disconnect and be removed from the thing, we're not coming back because I don't know how to do it. So we're just going to hang out here. I hope everybody has plans on the Easter Sunday. Happy Good Friday. I know I said that already. But again, it's kind of weird because I didn't hear the music start. Everything's changed tonight. So we have Sandy. She is my sister. She's my long-term sister from the same mister. We're blood. And she's just here sitting with us and checking it out. And she says that it is much smaller than it is when she's watching us live on her television.
She didn't think the studio, she thought it was much larger. The studio is pretty huge for a
It
recording
is.
studio. I don't know, she thought she was coming to Carnegie Hall maybe. I'm not really sure.
But she did say it does look much bigger on the
Yeah, so do I on camera.
yeah.
He's really much smaller.
He's
than-
really a
I look at a
size.
dish, you would never think of 34 waist. But, it's just these camera angles, these cameras.
Yeah.
It's like a warped sense of perception. Yeah, that's what it is. Eric, come me up.
I'm hoping that everybody can be with their family this Sunday and enjoy a nice family Easter egg hunt. And if you
Or
can't-
Larry, sacrificing a goat or something, whatever. Whatever you're doing on that weekend, it's like we hope you enjoy yourselves and you do it in a safe manner.
Yes, but I'm just grateful to have my sister here and have her share Easter with us.
You scared the shit out of her. She thought she was going to have to share an experience straight to her home. Did you see her freeze up? That was great. That was awesome. I'll have to look at that part again.
I love her with all my heart. She may express some gas during the show. She's old and she can't help it.
And these microphones are very sensitive.
Very sensitive.
I'm always corrected for doing this because it's like blah 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 on here. So you better be
Yeah.
on your best behavior.
Yes, Richard's always like,
I'm
Mom,
trying.
you have to stop playing with your nails on the show because I'm always clicking my nails. He goes, you realize how much you can hear that.
I don't know why we need such sensitivity on these microphones. I really don't.
Yes, it is very sensitive. So,
You spend all that money on this equipment, you might as well use it.
yes, if this is the first time you're popping in, this is a recovery based support show. You may not have anybody in the throes of addiction, substance use disorder, but education is never a bad thing to learn, and
Education is the key.
is the absolute
Coming to
key
grips
to
and understanding
substance
a
use
loved one's
disorder. Yes, so it's important. This is an important topic. It's an important educational light show. We have a lot of people that are in the comments or that do call in sometimes that are in recovery, long-term recovery. We have people here that are still actively using, but are looking for that support out there to move forward and get the help that they need. We also have family members that join us in the comments and that have family members that are struggling and they're looking for the support, how to help their loved one. And though we cannot help our loved one decide when they will get treatment, we can teach them how to be there for their loved one while they are contemplating moving forward into their recovery. We also have people out there that have lost a loved one that shares their experience and their strength, because strength is so needed when the worst happens. We've lost so many to an overdose, whether it was accidental or unfortunately with this disease, the pain that we suffer is just too much for some people, and they will see that they think that there is no way out, and sometimes they do take a little bit more than they are used to, and unfortunately, being by yourself, because a lot of times this is a disease of isolation. Nobody wants to, share their drug of choice because of the expense, So, we are losing so many. Again, we started the show and I didn't think that it was really helping anybody until I got a message saying that they were getting ready to relapse and ended up going into a meeting instead. And that's why I'm here. That's why I stay connected. That's why I want to be here to help the next person. Hey, Betty Ann. Betty Ann's popping in as well. And
I'm only in this for all the fame and fortune that goes along with it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's a lot of money to be made here.
Yeah.
So they tell me in the recovery field. We have yet to see any of that because we don't do anything for money.
Right.
We're strictly volunteer army.
Yes, I am strictly zero profit.
And we're not looking for anything, so don't take it the wrong way. We're not looking
Yes.
for anything. No donation, anything.
We're
Just
zero.
a few kind words is all
Yes.
we need.
We're strictly zero profit. We are here to just listen and
And we
share
like it that
our
way. Keeps us honest.
Strength and hope with you. We do, and don't get me wrong, I will plug for any organization that is having a fundraiser.
Oh yeah, we're all about fundraisers, but you'll never see one attached to our name.
Right. We don't have sponsors here. I'm blessed because my son, through his recovery, I'm sorry, but I usually just say loved one, but my son's recovery has blessed him with the opportunity to be able to, do this for me. He has a recording studio. He loves music. He loves everything about music. And I started this at the kitchen table with my phone, and now look at us.
We've hit the big time.
Yeah.
We got people coming in from out
Yeah.
of state, from the coast to coast people.
Yes. Autographs.
Look, I'm wearing the official Forsaken Studios staff shirt tonight.
And so is Sandy.
Hers is a little backwards though.
It's not on that.
No, it's not. She checks.
She thought it was like one of them North Face jackets. I didn't have the heart to tell her.
But it's so nice that he offered to do this, and we are here pretty much every Friday night. There has been a couple instances where Rich was unavailable, and
Let's get down to the show. Oh, I'm ready to go.
but we're on 107 or 108th show today. So, we have Canada in the house.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Canada.
Hi, Ferg.
But if anybody out there is struggling, they do have the comment area on their device they're watching us through.
Device.
Please feel free to enter any questions or comments that may help the next person that needs to hear that positive, next step to finding recovery. If you want to stay anonymous, because when you do comment, your name does appear on our comments. But if you want to be anonymous, you can always give us a call in at 267-737-8031 and ask any questions or make any comments, or even if you see something in any of the comments and want to be able to provide your suggestion, your strength, and your hope, feel free to give us a call in and help that person out. But tonight we're just chilling, we're just relaxing. Bob and I were gonna be doing the show tonight, and Sandy was gonna hide in the background, but she said she's just gonna sit here and be a mute.
Really?
And-
So Sandra, how old were you when you first started experimenting with different genres of music?
I'd say about 16.
Cool.
So, with the holidays, I know we went through this over the Christmas and New Year's seasons and Thanksgiving, but here we are again, once again, and thank goodness we're here, because spring cannot come fast enough for me. Although I was bitching a little bit yesterday because it was a little too hot.
It was.
Well, it's Easter coming, and it's not predominantly a big drinking holiday, but
Right.
I'm sure a lot of families have a traditional glass of wine and such that they might serve at the table. How's everybody feeling about that? Anybody out there suffering? Like you feeling uncomfortable with that, or have you come to grips with that? As just being a part of things, and you're good with it. I mean, like I said, Easter's not like one of those big drinking holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. But little food for thought out there if anybody has any opinions on that or what
Right.
they think.
And it is a holiday. Families are getting together. Families are getting together, and this might be the first weekend, the first
I
holiday
hate
that
this thing.
your family is coming out and getting
Coming
together.
out.
That there's going to be alcohol. There may be substances being used during that holiday gathering. There may be people coming in from out of town that you haven't made them aware of a loved one that is suffering, and they start questioning why they're not at the table. Where
Or
are
why
they?
they're not out behind the forsythia bush out in the yard with cousin Joe who likes to spark up a blunt. You shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable about that, and people should make it known that you are in recovery, and a little courtesy. A little courtesy is no big deal with that. I mean, they don't have to be rubbing your face in it and stuff like that, and questioning, it's just one, this, that, right? Because you got to remember, a lot of people don't understand recovery, especially if they've never been in it themselves. So, they don't know how to act or how to react.
And to tell you the truth, when it first happened in our home, the problem with that was they were addicted to substances. They were not addicted to alcohol, that we realized. So it was just, well, sure, you can, it was, right, the first holiday was New Year's that we were getting together, and well, we're going to go to the VFW because we've always been to the VFW. We've always helped set up the food. We've always helped with that function at the VFW. And our loved one decided, yeah, I'll go. And I was, well, that's fine, because his issue isn't alcohol. Little did we know that was also an issue. But shortly after that, the relapse happened. So just for instance, if your loved one happens to be their addiction may be to Adderall or meth or heroin, you have to realize that their addiction too is alcohol. Anything that changes the brain, mind altering substances, which is alcohol, marijuana, you know, anything, that's going to affect the way you're feeling, which will take you from alcohol to your drug of choice. So just be very cautious.
And a lot of people don't believe that. The more I ask around, I mean, and that's only because they're not educated in it. They're like, that's preposterous. He could have a few beers, be fine. Beer's never been a problem in his.
Right.
It's that hard liquor. That's a problem. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
He's only drinking beer.
He's only drinking beer.
He's not drinking the Jack.
Right. And
You
it's
know,
only
whatever.
O'Doul's. O'Doul's isn't going to, affect him because that's not his problem. And it's like, it's not their problem. However, the taste is not giving them the euphoric feeling that they're looking for. So it's just a matter of time before that flavor, especially if they're stuck in a situation where
Especially in early recovery.
Yeah.
It's very, very frowned upon.
but if they're having a difficult time for whatever reason, the season changed, everybody's out after mowing the lawns for the first time and everybody's getting together at somebody's house for a couple of beers, that's just such a trigger for them that can set them back to picking up again and relapsing, that can take them into an ugly spiral. So we have to make sure that we are aware of these situations and be able to understand it, to the best of our abilities, because we as loved ones, if you are not yourself suffering from a substance use disorder or in recovery from a substance use disorder, you won't understand what they're going through, what they're feeling, and what their triggers are. Sometimes triggers can be as simple as money. Sometimes triggers.
Money's never been a trigger for me, right?
Well,
I've
because
never had an abundance of it to really affect me. Probably why it was.
and quite frankly, we don't have a problem with that because we do not have the addictive brain. And that's the one thing that we have to make people aware of. You don't know if you have an addictive brain. That's the biggest issue with addiction. People say, they look at it as a moral issue. I can't think of the word, but they're always frowned upon, and it's just sad that is what they get from that. They don't realize that a doctor may have prescribed something and you've taken the substance and your brain can't change from that, and you become addicted, and you come to the point where you need it because you don't like the feeling of feeling so sick when you don't have it in your system. And when you don't have it in your system, then you may be off to changing your drug of choice. You will take whatever is available to you. It's always the nevers. I will never do a Percocet. I'm just going to smoke weed. I will never do a heroin. I'm just going to stay with Percocets until, unfortunately that gets very expensive. And then the never do heroin is now the drug of choice. And they're encephalating it, snorting it. And I will never shoot that into my veins until that needle's in their veins. Like, this is addiction. This is what addiction looks like.
It perpetuates so fast sometimes, it just escapes you, and you just get so caught up in it. Next thing I know, you're sitting back going, how did I get to this point? Really? And it happens all the time.
And that's addiction. That's how addiction happens. And we just have to be very, careful that we're, making sure that that isn't happening. The doctors, it's so hard today. From my understanding, and I can be totally off on this, from my understanding, it's very difficult today to have that situation because everything's being monitored through computers. So they can see if you're doctor shopping. They can see if you're being overprescribed. If you're being overprescribed, your doctor better be on the ball and saying, what's going on. Your pharmacies now, everything's computerized. So if you're going to different pharmacies, it's all linking together. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that the doctors are looking at this and staying on top of it, because I know from my experience from some pain issues with fibromyalgia, they gave me some pretty hefty drugs to control the pain. And, if your doctor's not on top of it, how quickly that can turn into a full-blown addiction. And I'm grateful because I don't like the feeling. I'm very sensitive to the medication, so it does not react like it does with somebody with an addictive brain. They have a totally different euphoria from it, so they want to keep doing it. And, once you start taking it as prescribed, that doesn't mean, oh, okay, they're taking it as prescribed. Well, what happens is, and we've said it before on the show, once you're being prescribed this medication, it helps you for so long. And then you start to level off with the drug and the pain. And now the pain levels are increasing because you have gotten used to that. So it's not helping the pain anymore. So once you start taking that, then you have to now up the dosage. And that's what was happening to me. And I said, nope, I'm not going to do this. This is not helping me. I still feel the pain, but I just don't care that I feel the pain. My brain is numb to the pain. So,
And that's an important point you bring up. Or a lot of people don't realize, that painkillers, especially opiates and all, don't cure your underlying problem. If you have a torn meniscus or whatever it may be, all it does is changes how your brain perceives pain. The underlying issue is still there and probably degenerating and getting worse and worse. So, you're getting more immune to the medication and your underlying issue's getting worse. So it's like a double-edged sword. So the pain's getting more, so you're taking more and more and more, your tolerance. Next thing you know, you're just taking copious amounts of your pain medication, and wow, it's dangerous. And it happens quickly. It's like, you don't even realize it happened. Like, oh my God, now my monthly supplies only last me 2 weeks. Now it's only last me a week. What's going on? Now you can't doctor shop no more, because that's what people would do. They'd have 3 different doctors getting 3 different prescriptions, just because they have to keep up with it. Mm-hmm. So it's
and
it happens to the best of people. It happens to the most straight-laced, honest. People aren't abusing it on purpose. It's something that happens, that perpetuates. It could be Aunt Claire. Broke her hip at the Piggly Wiggly there, slipped on a Twinkie, and she's been in pain taking these pain medications, and nobody's monitoring her, so she's taking more and more. Next thing you know, Aunt Claire's a full-blown, has a full-blown addiction to opiates, and she never do that. She don't even drink. It's like it can happen to anyone. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm getting at.
And you look at the nursing homes today. The prescriptions prescribed to elderly people because of pain. It's amazing when you really sit, and I never really thought about that really, even when my grandmother was there, I was just getting started with all of this, starting to get the education. And then I'm seeing all the medication she's on, and it's just like so crazy. I mean, it's a little harder for anybody to get a hold of their medication there because it is divvied out by the nurse's station. It's not like they have the bottle of oxycodone on their, bedside table.
Well, that's when they're, institutionalized, so to speak.
Right.
But when they're at home,
But when they're at home,
I mean, it's like these things pile up. I mean, sometimes they don't even take them, and they just the prescriptions keep getting filled. Next thing they got this arsenal of medications like that. It's lying around, and then, you got that great. It's a family member. We're not going to even say. Comes over and say, "Holy shit! Look at all these things that somebody done them." It's like Christmas in July. It's out of control.
here, Grandma, here's one for you, and here's two for me. Here's one for you and three for me. Like this is what it comes down to. This is where we get when we're in our state of addiction. We don't care if grandmom's in pain. You can have half and I'll have half. And it's not that they don't love them and they don't care that they're in pain. They just don't see their pain. They only see their pain. And they know that prescription will help them because, they can't get that prescription anymore. The doctor said, wait, this is not right. You were only supposed to be taking this for like 4 days, and here we're in 6 weeks, and we have to stop it, and then where do you go but the street? Then you're on the street and you're dealing with manufactured pills, not regulated. So now they're adding in heroin, they're adding in fentanyl, they're adding in carfentanil, they're adding in what's the newest, the xylazine. And now
that's an animal tranquilizer for you people just tuning in, trying to get acquainted with all the lingo and catchphrases.
And the saddest part is they're using molds that look just like Xanax, just like Percocet. So you literally think that's what you're getting, and in reality you're not. That's not at all what you're getting. And your body's not built up for that level of opiates. That's an instant overdose. Especially when it comes to fentanyl. It's so scary. It's not like you can't touch it or anything. It's just that, if you accidentally encephalate it for whatever reason, and you haven't been on opiates, you haven't been using substances illegally.
Right. You might think it's a benzodiazepine like Xanax. You think you're taking a Xanax. You've taken 100 of them before. Now all of a sudden you have the Xanax that's adulterated with fentanyl. Boom, you can fall right out. Like Lori says, if you don't have any kind of
build up,
resistance to an opioid, you take something like that and it's adulterated fentanyl, you could overdose like almost immediately.
Right. And people that have been on an opiate like Percocets, oxycodone, people that have been on that for a while, their levels are pretty high. Well, once they get to a point where that's not helping them anymore, they will switch over to fentanyl, which will give them not only a little bit of the high, but it'll also help with not getting sick so fast. So, that's addiction. That's how, your body starts to react to the drug. Your body starts saying, oh my gosh, like I feel so sick. I am not feeling good. The last time I took an oxycodone, I felt much better. So now they're seeking the oxycodone. They're seeking, another hit of heroin. And, they find themselves maybe for the next week just staying on that regimen where their body's now saying, I'm not feeling great. I'm not saying that you're really sick, but you're heading in that direction. So what do? You go and you're starting to take an extra pill. And that's addiction. That it just continues to build, and especially with opiates, it's you get to those levels and then you have to take more. You have to take more. And just so that you feel well. And that sucks. It really sucks. I don't know if anybody out there has had that situation. I'm sure everybody on here, maybe, well, Betty Ann, no, but I'm sure that people that are here and watching have understood that and been through that, or even watched a loved one going through that. There's nothing worse than watching somebody just suffering like that and not knowing that there's help out there. So many people, especially when they're in the beginning throes of the addiction, their brain isn't responding like the normal brain does. They forget that there is help out there. They forget there are treatment centers that can help them. But they've been to the point where they have felt the detoxification of the drug and realize how painful that gets. They just don't realize that it's a temporary pain, that they will have to go through hell for 3 to 5 days. But after that, every day gets better. Every day is, they get stronger.
Now,
Well-
Sandy, working part-time in a convent like you do, I'm sure you're not exposed to people with such problems like this. This might be all new. So, we're glad to have you here and to experience some of our viewers and some of our knowledge that we try to portray to our viewers, because knowledge is your best weapon in combating this disease. It really is. So what do you got to say? How do you feel? I know you watch the show a lot.
I do. I try to watch it every Friday.
Cool. So what do you think some of our stronger points in the show are, and where do you think maybe we're lacking a little that we could probably give a little bit more intuitive type things to people?
I know, like when you do your little research, like when you read articles and stuff, and you have extra information.
Oh yeah, you think that's a good addition?
Yeah,
I try to stay up
yeah.
on the current events and things going on. I mean, that's good. Thank you. That's good to hear.
That's really it seems really helpful.
I think that's an important piece for the family members as well, because family members especially, first of all, if they're not in recovery themselves or active themselves, they are, just in the dark, understanding some of the things, the lingo, the
lingo itself is
substances.
so hard to keep up
Right.
on. We had to be careful sometimes ourselves, because you just assume everybody knows what you're talking about. You
Right,
start using
right.
the lingo, hey, taking a couple Xannies, what is that?
Yeah.
We try not to talk in too much slang.
Yeah.
We try to keep it in layman's terms and simple sometimes, but we also give you the slang terminology so
Right.
if you happen to hear it. But we try not to take it for granted that everybody knows all the language. And the proper language can lose you. You go up to somebody
Right.
outside. Well, they have a substance use disorder. Like, what the hell?
What the hell is
What is
that?
that?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all part of the new, more friendly language.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to change the language so it's not so stigmatized for our loved ones who are actively using. However, substance use disorder, they're like, what the hell is that? That's why when I talk about it, I try to say substance use disorder, addiction, so that they realize that, okay, that's what that means. Like,
Yeah.
that is what it means. And people that are just getting into this, they just know addicts, they know addiction, they know druggies, they know junkies, they know that.
I can't break Larry from using that alcoholic word. He always says, I'm Larry and I'm an alcoholic. I'm
Yes.
like, Larry, can't you use some more fancy language? And he just laughs at me.
Yes, but that's us, and that's society trying to show it exactly what it is, as a disease and not a moral. What do they say? Why can't I think of that? It was right there on the tip
A
of my
moral
tongue.
failure.
A moral failure. It is, and then that's the thing, and the more you use the kinder language, the more they see it as a disease and not as, the moral failure, because it's not. Nobody
a moral
woke.
failure, or a moral weakness. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Nobody wakes up and says, "You know what? Hey, I think I'm going to be an addict today. I think I'm just going to start doing drugs and not be able to stop them. I'm
I
going
do.
to."
I wake up and say, I'm going to be an anorexic today.
Yeah.
And then
Hey, Marge.
tomorrow I just want to be an obese truck driver. It's like I go back and forth.
But that's where it is. Nobody asks for this. I don't care if it's through a prescription. I don't care if it's through experimentation. I don't care what the reason is, whether, you just need to get through your finals, whether you have suffered some trauma. No matter what the situation is, somebody may pick up to numb themselves from a trauma. Somebody may try to get through their, exams.
It's funny you bring up, not to interrupt, but I don't forget, you bring up a very valid point. You said about the exams and testing and all. So many of our young people come back from college with a raging addiction. I mean, it's amazing because they get that little bit of freedom, that little bit, away from home, and it might have always been like maybe a underlying little thing, but now they can drink whenever they want. They don't have to answer to nobody when they come. And oh my God, they come home from school, and we got parents that are blindsided, like, what the hell happened? What did they do to you there? And it's very interesting. That might be a good topic one night. With the adolescent experimentation there, especially in college. When they
Yeah.
go away. And they got that, like I said, that bit of freedom where they're not answering to everybody. It's
Larry says he's a malt and hops technician. Not an alcoholic.
see, I knew he would come from some fancy lingo. Very good, Larry.
And that's another thing. He has to say that I'm an alcoholic, I'm an addict, because they have to remember where they're from. And
Right.
that's like something that's a tool for them. That's something that they learn.
It keeps it real. It keeps it
It keeps it,
for you.
it's for that person. They don't go out into the, Acme and say, "Hi, I'm an alcoholic or an addict, and how was your day?" This is something that, is shared amongst the recovery community, and it's so important. Like I remember my loved ones saying, "Hey, I'm just a junkie." Well, that I was just like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "No, you're not. And
Yeah,
this
did
was.
you hear that acting voice? That was pretty good.
But this is the beginning. This is where it's raw. Where I don't have the education to know that it's all right for him to feel that way. That's him. That's her. It's their way of healing and getting through the process. And I will never look at them. I will never see them as that. I see them as a loved one. That's important that we see them who they are. That's our loved one. That's not, who we see. And that's important for our loved ones, the family members that are seeing them going through what they're going through and trying to separate the person that's using the addict from the person they, married, they raised. It's so hard because some of the language being spewed from their mouths are so hurtful. And that's when we have to remember that that is not, the person that we know.
Right.
That is the addiction. That is the substance use talking. They have to do that to get what they need. They have to keep us unlevel so that they can continue to manipulate to get what they need. And that is just so important for families to understand. So if you are a family member and you're just, seeing this for the first time, and this is a great time because it's spring break. Your loved one, it might be their first time in away from the family. This, and they're coming back home and you're seeing a change in them. Be open, be honest, ask questions. You're in a situation now, some of us, that your loved ones aren't going to the community college and aren't staying home during their schooling, that they're ventured, further away. So, they have no parental guidance, and they don't have anybody looking out for them. And it could be like you could be the kindest, sweetest person in the world that never smoked a cigarette or never wanted to smoke a cigarette, and now they're away at college and
They come back smoking and drinking and cursing.
yeah, and they come back. Well, not even that they come back, that they're there and it's just starting for them. First of all, they have freedom that they've never had before. They are now trying to hello back east. What? Oh, got to open it up. Hello back east. What do you have a shot collar on Sandy? She seems to be very quiet.
You notice how I made her talk a little while ago? I forced her into dialogue.
It's best for everyone out there if I just
Chill. But that's what I'm like. They're trying to buckle down and get their new way of life going. They need to learn how to, have some social time, get their schoolwork done, keep their grades up. And, it's not high school anymore. There's not mom and dad saying, yo, you don't get that, iPad if you don't get those grades up. You don't get to go out with your friends on Friday night if you don't get those grades up. Now it's crunch time. Now we're doing, now we have to get our, tests done, and it's final time. Well, here, we're going out. So here, take this pill. It will help you. You can stay awake. And no, I can't do, no, I can't do that. And, their friends' grades are good. They're going out and having fun and coming back. And you're still, your head's dropping because you're trying to study. And you're not getting what you want it done. And then the next weekend comes and I'll try half of one. And then they pop that in their mouth, and not only have they studied, they've, killed it. And look, I have free time. I can go out with my friends now. So you go out and, do you have that other half?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now that receptor is like, woo, this is pretty cool. I'm digging this. You all weekend, you only did that one full pill, and next weekend rolls around. Listen, can I have a half? You know what? The last time it was a whole, and that did really cool. So, can I have a whole one? Sure. So now Again, the studying's done. They killed it, and now it's a whole weekend. Okay, we're still at one pill the following week, and then it's off to the races. It's like, give me 2 pills. Okay, that's wearing off. This is addiction. And the family's biggest downfall is it'll never happen in my house. It'll never happen in my family. It'll never happen to anyone I know. Because we taught them better. We showed them better. And
It's not
guess
the
what?
case.
Guess what? They're now in a situation where the stress is overcoming them. They may have gone to school having anxiety and depression that you never knew was there. Or maybe you did know was there. And now they're with different people that have pills that can show them how to ease that. That is addiction. That is what's happening to our communities. That is happening to our country. And they come home and you see the change and the denial sets in. Well, they've been away and they're probably drinking a couple beers, they're probably doing frat parties. They're not doing pills because we already told them that, that's just not something you do. We don't do it in our family. That's for people that are.
I had a talk with my kids. I love that one.
Yeah.
I had a talk with my kid years ago. And maybe you didn't have that talk with your kid, but my kids are good.
Yeah.
They're not even gonna think about that shit.
Yes. Until.
And you sit there, what do you say when they have, okay. I hope you're right.
Yes. And that's addiction. That's addiction. And every family support meeting, every one I have ever been to, every one, I am in recovery. I never thought my child would be. They lived through that. I talked to them. I never thought it would happen in my home. We go to church every Sunday. I never thought it would happen in my home. We've talked to my child did dare. Like this is what we hear when somebody walks into a family support meeting.
Right. And they make you sound like, well, you failed. I didn't fail. My kid don't even think of it. I just, oh my gosh.
It's
I
Tommy's
think every
fault.
parent who had to endure
Right.
this,
Yeah.
I've never had a talk with their kids. They all have.
Yes. And they've all done dare.
It's just something that happens. I mean,
And if I see that Tommy, I know it was that Tommy.
Oh, yeah,
You know
they're
what?
all
If it
blaming
wasn't
somebody, you're
Tommy,
right.
it would have been George or
that Dave, Tommy was my problem too.
yeah. But I'm saying, like,
F you, Tom.
we always want to blame that other person.
Right.
But if it wasn't Tommy, it was going to be Scott. It was going to be, Todd. That's what it is. If you have an addictive brain, it doesn't matter who steps in and does it. Eventually, they're going to seek it.
I wonder what different ethnicities use what name, when they're talking like that. I think like people go, I know it was that Akbar. I knew it was bad influence on him. I just wonder if anybody. Let's get Sean O'Malley, that O'Malley boy.
But that is, I know that when my loved one, he was first affected by this when I first found out. I knew how I was feeling about certain people he was around and what I was wanting to do to them. I never, that's just what we think. That's what goes to our head. You go to any meeting and you hear some of the things that come out of people's mouth, you want to drop your jaw because, like, how can they say, but we've all thought it.
Yeah.
We've all thought it. We just never let it out until you hit a support group and you're like, yeah, I know. That yesterday I thought the same thing. Like, it is so strange to be sitting in the same room with, like, we just had 21 people in our group, and everybody agreed with, what some of the things we were saying, because it may have been a different drug of choice, it may have been a different, financial situation, a different, community situation.
But
It's
all people
all the same
trapped in
story.
addiction, they all have similarities. And
Yes.
people note that when they're hearing the other stories. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of weird. And I always say it's like they all read from the same script, because you hear a lot of the same scenarios, a lot of the same lame excuses, and it's like they all read from the same script.
Mm-hmm.
It's eerie sometimes,
Yes.
especially when they go into rehab the first time. We always set parents up or loved ones up for what they're going to be hit with. You're going to hear there's no food here. Not enough food. They don't have enough food for us here. The bed bugs. Oh my God, the bed bugs is so terrible. My son was bees. People are getting stung everywhere in this place. There's bees everywhere. These stories, like,
Yes.
because they're trying to make the place sound like a horrible, horrible.
Well,
Institution.
a lot of times it's because they are there because they see what they've done to the family. They've seen the depression. They've seen the anguish on the family member's face, and they don't want to be there. So, well, I'm here, but there's bed bugs, and I don't know. Well, what's mommy going to do? Mommy's going to get in that car, drive to the
Or there's
place.
drugs. There's drugs everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And we're going to take them out of that situation, bring them back home to save their
God, if he was
lives.
so honest with us, we got to get him out of there.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
Come, Tommy, we got to get you out of there. Here, Tommy was the damn problem all along.
Right.
F you, Tommy.
So we really have to be careful of what we're hearing, because they do, once they go into recovery, into treatment, they're not always in group sessions. They're not always in lectures. They're not always in with their counselor. They have downtime. And when they have downtime, they're like, oh, yeah, well, just tell them this. Oh, just
Well,
do
a lot
that.
Of networking.
This is how I got my parents to do what I wanted them
So
to
this
do.
way, they're not wanting to leave. They're making you make the decision. So
Right.
they don't.
They're putting it on you.
They're very diabolical.
Mm-hmm. And if anybody can relate out there, Eric, Larry, feel free to pop in that comment and let us, hear your story, so that we can share that. And remember, we just have to be educated. I can't say that enough, because when I was growing up and it was affecting my life, it was just pure resentment. Such resentment. And if I knew then what I know now, things would have been a lot different, I think. Maybe not, I don't know. But when it hits so close to you, you have no choice but to get, educated. Period. You have to get educated, because if you don't, your life is going to be absolutely miserable. And Margie says, just like every single sesh reading is relatable. There's so many different books. There's so many different workbooks. There's so many different gratitude books out there that can help you through the worst of the days.
And it sounds so coy and corny, but we always tell newcomers, you're not going to say anything that's going to shock us. Trust me, we've heard it all. And be truthful, be honest. Yourself. You're not going to be judged in this room. That's why it's so important to go in a meeting of your peers where you're not going to be judged and or criticized or ridiculed, because, like I always say, so many people think they understand addiction. Me being one of them, I used to think I understood it until I really educated myself and realized how flawed I was on what I thought about addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say that's why I can't get angry at people about it have such a flawed interpretation of it, that I'd be a hypocrite to be angry at them because I was that person. So a lot of us, we think we understand it, and really, it's just an opinion that we have formed ourselves over the years of what addiction is. I grew up in a whole family of addiction. I mean, I thought everybody's grandpa, if I can remember, got hammered after work every night from working on the piers and came staggering down the street home. I thought that's the way everything was. My grandma would go, "Go get your grandfather out of the tap room." Don't get his fat drunken ass home. Here, I should have, I would use that term today. I would say that morbidly obese substance abuser home.
And it's true. Like, and I remember, coming home from school, having dinner or whatever, and Dad wasn't home, and then piling in the car and sitting in the bar in the booth having Shirley Temples while my dad was sitting at the bar with 8 of his friends and we always made a joke that, their tombstones are going to be placed right on that bar, right on that stool. And here we are, we're set up being in that environment too, because a lot of times, they get attracted to that environment. They get
Well, it's a sense of normality to you.
Right.
I mean, like I said, I thought everybody's mother had to go get a half a gallon of scotch after she went to the Acme and got the groceries. She had to stop at the liquor store. I thought everybody's mom had a nice big drink every night. I didn't realize some people only drank like once a year or special occasions. I'm making a joke out of it, but I'm friggin' totally honest. I didn't realize that. I'm like, well, all families always having a drink or this and that. It's weird. I mean, your parents don't drink at all? Well, sometimes at New Year's they'll have some champagne. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Man, they're dorks. They're nerds.
Mine will have it with orange juice, champagne, and have it with some bacon and eggs, like a mimosa, baby.
Yeah.
And like I said, I can make fun of it. Because it is what it is. It just, and by me doing that, it just gives some normality to it. Because I think a lot of us are all like, geez, boy, ain't that the truth? Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Or like us kids sitting in the car while they're in the bar drinking, we couldn't go in, so we'd be sitting in there, waiting for them to come out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that today.
No.
But
They call the cops today.
They try it at the casinos once in a while. It makes the news.
Yeah, it does make the news.
Yeah.
And there's another addiction, gambling,
Yeah.
Who takes their young 4, 5, 6-year-old child to the casino and lock them in their car so you can just go in and throw that $20.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, just $20.
Take me 5 minutes.
I only stopped to use the bathroom. Do you have to keep throwing this in my face? I didn't have my other keys.
But this is what addiction does to you. It gives you a sick sense in your head that it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And you see so much of it, you hear so much of it on the news. And we're still doing it. Like, we're still doing it.
And gambling is always it really makes you realize what a disease of the brain it is. Because there isn't any chemical involved, so to speak. You know what I mean? Gambling. But yet, it's that euphoric feeling. It's that the brain just takes over.
Yeah.
And you just compulsiveness. I mean, addiction is compulsiveness. You got to place that bet to get that energy, that it's so odd, because there isn't an outside,
Hey, Christine.
type substance. You know what I mean? Everything else usually is substance.
Right.
But you don't realize you got gambling. People have sex disorders. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Eating disorders. I mean, right here, I get to the buffet. Boy, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get me a wing. I mean, I could just feel the intensity walking through the door, paying the nice Oriental lady when I walked in.
But again, we're not making fun of it because it is a disease. It is an illness, and it's unfortunate. But some people can't. I can't. Sugar is my thing. Like, I can't have one tasty cake. I have to have 4. Like that. No, I'm serious.
We couldn't even get bananas for the baby without a Reese cup having to be bought at the counter. I was giving her the hairy eye, both of them. A hairy
Sorry,
eyeball.
but it's got to be the big cup. I don't want that little one.
I'm just looking at them there like, It's Easter. We're going to have a shit ton of candy. We don't know what they're doing.
No, we're not.
These two are buying Reese cups. At the counter where they're the most expensive. For what they pay for them 2 Reese cups, you probably could have bought like a
You
bag.
can't get big cups.
They're
and
too small. God forbid you eat 2.
so Margie,
Sandwich them together.
So Margie says, inner childhood desire to be loved by parents not capable. We end up choosing broken or needy partners to make us feel needed or whole. And that is certainly true. That is the one thing that we have to be very cautious of, that we are not looking for love in all the wrong places. We have to seek love where we're going to be loved and given the love that we deserve.
That's such a great point there. That really rings true with me, strikes home with me. Because, like, I just assumed that's the way life was. I mean, I couldn't say they didn't love me, but it wasn't. And this is the God's honest truth from the heart. I didn't realize what a family was until I got married, or even before I got married. My wife's family.
Can't
I have
help
never
it.
seen people that get along so well in a group. And I mean, I swear to God on this, it just opened my eyes. It's like I stepped into Mayberry. They're the nicest family.
Not us.
I mean, we could have like reunions in our yard
Not
here.
our
We'd have
immediate
80 of them, 80 family members over, many of which aren't with us now. But just to see that, and what a loving family. There was no arguing, and it still goes on to this day. We're friends with so many of the family. And but I never dreamed that was possible because I never lived through that. My family, they were always at odds with each other. And we didn't have big family gatherings because, you'd have to call the police within 5 minutes to break up the fight. It was terrible right now. But that was normal for me. It was weird growing up, and now I look at it now like, oh my God, what a warped sense of reality I had growing up. I really did. I never wondered why, like, the neighbors never talked to my mother or my grandmother, because they couldn't stand them. They were obnoxious, very just nasty people to be around. The neighbors were always nice to me, but oh my God, like my mother, they would just walk in the door and I would say, oh, I go, that's weird. I don't know what that all about.
Yeah.
And Chris, my stepfather came in to the picture, that just kind of changed the whole dynamic of what family was, because it changed my mom too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what family's supposed to be like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot of them out there on the West Coast like we do out here. I mean, the bulk of the family is still back here, so you weren't around them as much. So that was definitely a big change for you guys out there.
Right. It was.
So Christine says, hi, everyone. Just got home from a commitment. Nice to see Sandy. And here we go. Christine D was on our show during Women's Month.
She's a lady.
She's an awesome person who is in recovery. And there's the word, commitment. This is working a program, giving back to those that gave to her so freely. And helping that next person. That is recovery. That is what recovery is about. So many people do balk at the 12-step program, but that is beautiful. That is what recovery is about. Being there and helping take that next person to a level where they can get to where she is.
Yeah.
That they will give up their Friday night drinking to help somebody stop drinking, help them get to a meeting, help them understand what steps it took for her to get where she is today. And I'm so grateful to know her, to have heard her story, and to have her educate me more on what addiction looks like to the addict and how beautiful it is to be in it is so amazing. If you don't know somebody that is actively in a program, you're missing out, because oh my God, it's beautiful. It is
and to
so
hear a story
awesome.
how physically exhausting it was to hide her addiction, like
Right.
the steps she would take to conceal it and all of it. It's utterly exhausting. I mean, like
Yep, it is.
all the covert actions.
Her story was, amazing. It really was.
Yeah.
And she did a fine job on the show. As nervous as she was.
Yes. And Larry, by the way, I eat the double E's, okay? No D cup for me. It's double E.
And here, folks, is where the show goes off the rails every week.
It's always Larry and Pappy.
Larry and Eric at instigate usually. Eric's been very quiet. That I'm very worried about him. He probably fell asleep.
He might be in his tin can.
And
I don't know.
even with our uncle,
He might be back in his recliner snoring.
That was craziness.
Yeah.
What his alcoholism.
Like I always said, people, we joke and we laugh on the show a lot, an awful
made
lot.
him,
And that's because recovery does not have to be all doom and gloom, as I always say. There's I see no problem having a little fun with it. Instead of having this straight, stone-faced, serious conversation every week, which would get boring real quick.
Yeah.
You got to lighten it up a little bit. You got to have fun in what you do. We're not making fun of recovery, but we're having fun educating people at the same time about it. So don't misconstrue what we do here. We're very serious about what we do. We have our times when we're very serious. It really depends on the audience at hand. This type of audience here, this is our audience, and you regulars are all used to this. You're used to us. We do other podcasts with different organizations. We sit there and we're very stone-faced and very serious.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Sandy was just talking about, the chaos that my uncle created.
Trying to kill our parents on Mother's Day, and
Yeah.
I remember when we were living.
Listen, everyone is innocent until proven guilty on this show. Please don't take anything.
But I would sit upstairs, after the bar closed right across the road.
Hello. Oh, we have a caller. Let me find my little.
My guess is Larry.
Give me a minute, Larry. I'm trying to find the ball to get over to you. Where's the ball? Where's the thingy?
Be patient, Larry.
Larry, I'm
We're
trying.
going to lose you, but we know you tried. We know it's Larry.
I'll call you back.
Lori don't know how to answer the phone.
I'm
and I don't.
trying.
Yeah, she has all the controls in front of her.
Once again,
She's
Richard's
got
not
this
here.
this mouse going over two
Oh,
screens.
We got it. We got it.
We
No,
got it.
hung up. We got
Okay,
it.
let me find Larry. I think that's Larry.
Well, we're assuming. We don't know if it was.
Okay.
Whoever it was, call back.
Oh,
Hello, Mr. What do we call?
Shackapopoulos?
Shackapocalypse.
Was that you that just called, sir?
Yes, it was me. It just called.
Oh, okay.
Is this a livestock emporium? I'm going to get a couple goats wholesale.
Sure, sir. Halal? Is that halal meat? Yeah,
Sorry.
she was scrambling with the mouse trying to figure out how to answer the phone.
I want to make sure the horns are top quality. I don't want the brittle ones that break off easily.
Yes, we feed all our goats gelatin.
And they will lighten your
Knox
teeth.
blocks to strengthen their horns.
And they will brighten your teeth.
Good. I hope they burn nicely, too. Oh, brother.
Hi,
Too
Larry.
far. Sorry.
Hi, Larry. Happy Good Friday.
Yeah, same to you. And so big Easter plans for you, or I guess for a lot of people because you're gonna have dinner.
Yes, we're
Dinner is the biggest part of our Easter. We're not overly religious folk.
Yes,
But we are Christian,
yes.
and we really look forward to the eating end
Yes.
of every holiday. We even have a big barbecue on Arbor Day.
We
We're
dyed
very food oriented people.
we dyed eggs tonight with the kids. Well, we tried to with the kids. Apparently, Lane has a fear of eggs.
Gotta
Or
be
at
a
least
word
the
for that.
machine to color him.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Eggs. Period. I showed him an egg and he freaked out.
Freak out.
So, Lane chose to play with his trucks while we dyed eggs. Tomorrow is the big.
I don't know. I call foul on the whole thing.
And tomorrow is Jackson's and my our practice run of how to find the Easter eggs. I send her out to help me clean up the dog piles in the yard
Oh my god.
so that we can
Yeah,
have
don't
an
bury him there. Yeah.
Talk
Okay.
about molding a child.
No, I went around coloring them all, so that
Yeah, Sandy was painting them all day.
So tomorrow, it's our traditional clean up the backyard so that we can hide eggs on Sunday and nobody steps in anything. So
Yeah.
can't wait for that. And then Sunday, we'll take the kids out to find the plastic eggs so they don't eat anything that may have been placed.
It may resemble a
bad
segment
spot.
of a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
And then we will go in and cook and be in everybody's way and have a great day. And this year I'm blessed because I'll have my sister with me for Easter dinner. I don't know where the hell she's going to sit, but she'll be here for dinner. Larry knows how tight this house can be.
We're getting a bunk bed dinner table type thing at 2 levels.
I'm
So-
out in the pop-up
Don't eat the
camper.
brown eggs. That's all. Stay away from the brown eggs.
So hopefully Lane will want to pick up an egg. He maybe still
We
have
got
the
plenty
fear.
of folding tables like the old days.
So Larry, what are your plans for Sunday? And if you don't have any, come on over.
You can sit at a
Oh, I
folding
got-
table with me.
Bring a chair.
You can sit in the car with Sandy.
BYOC, bring your own chair.
You have a drive-through, like an order from the menu.
That's
might
not a
try
bad
that.
idea.
Yeah, we might try that.
And I'm making a cheesecake tomorrow. So
Hear
So
not
what
to
are you-
too
what
much.
are- what is your plans?
My plans. My traditional Easter. I'm going to a hockey game. I'm going to the Flyers game, and that's all. That's all my Easter plans. Because everybody's busy. Everybody, my kids, they have their things, and my brothers and all, and so my cousin gave me a couple of free tickets to the hockey game. And I'm taking that Bob guy with me. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so, yeah, well, it's like, I got him for nothing. He said, here's a couple tickets. I got reserved parking. I said, okay, I can get into that. Only problem is trying to find somebody on Easter because everybody's out doing their Easter thing.
Right.
And Bob said he's going over his mother's tomorrow, and so I snagged him along to come along to the game.
There you go. Good
I
for
want to
you.
know if, I just saw something on TV. It's like, with the egg shortage, why is everybody hiding them out in the backyard?
Yeah.
So, and dyeing them. And
My
I guess
aunt
you
was
could still
telling-
eat them.
My aunt was telling us tonight that eggs are so expensive that people are actually.
I was going to
coloring
dye a
potatoes.
couple sirloins and hide them around the house, but the dogs find them before we do. And
No, she
Yeah.
said they're coloring.
Yeah, I might come over
potatoes.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll find it before the dogs do.
yeah, but you're
I
right
love
on.
Sue,
You're right
but
on
she
the eggs.
believes
But the eggs are
everything
coming
on
down. We
Facebook.
did notice the eggs were coming down a little tonight.
They are. They
We went to the circus. I mean Walmart tonight, and looked at all those freaks, and we were looking at the egg prices and other food prices, and
We were at one point buying that 60 egg carton, and it was 5 something at Walmart. It went up to almost $15 for 60 eggs, but it's down to 10 something
so
now.
it came
So
down a third.
things are rebounding, hopefully.
Yeah, for the time being.
Yes. So, well, I'm glad that you and Bob are hanging out because I know his mom is a good distance, and Bob was supposed to be on the show tonight, but with
Yeah.
Richard feeling under the weather, we thought it would be best
It's worse than the weather. It's strep throat coming for this house.
yeah, so it's best that he just stays away. So that's why we're
Yeah.
having some technical difficulties answering the phone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of frantic.
$10 for 60 eggs. You want to just hatch them and raise chickens and have
Yes.
chicken dinner.
I actually was thinking about that, but I think the fox that we have in the yard that comes by might,
I don't know how our
have
dogs would
canceled
take
that.
the chickens either, and
yeah,
they're loving animals, but they don't like small animals.
right.
Yes.
So there might be feathers everywhere. So, and I have enough to do. I can't raise chickens.
Nah. In fact, we sold our dog kennel to some woman and made a chicken coop out of it. We had a chicken coop, so to speak. Everything. Nice big dog kennel with a door.
Yep. So what are you doing tomorrow, Lar?
Not much. Just hanging around the house.
Isn't
Do a
it
little
cold?
house cleaning, a little laundry. No big deal. I'll hit a meeting online. Well, in fact, I'm speaking 10 o'clock tomorrow night at a meeting in Zoom meeting in Montreal. They asked me to speak, so I'm doing that.
Nice.
And yeah, 7 o'clock there's another meeting, another Canadian meeting. I'll go to that, then I'll go speak at the 10 o'clock meeting in Montreal.
Now these all
Yeah,
stand at
so like
attention.
you say, got to keep involved. Got to keep involved with the sobriety. Can't stop because I did it once, and like 3 years later, I was back drinking again, and I'm not going to do that again.
Right.
I got to stay on my program.
Yep. It's
Some people can do it
amazing.
once a week. I can't. I have to do it at this time. I have to do it whenever I can.
Right. It's important. We have to.
Well, it's good that you're hanging out now with a certified behavioral specialist, and you guys are
yeah.
breaking bread now. It's good for you.
He can keep
You're
you
hanging out with the
alive.
right people, Larry.
Oh, I have him in a straitjacket at the senior times out. Believe me.
And you guys go to all these oldie concerts together. Yeah.
He'll be yelling down the street. He'll be running down the street yelling, screaming like some crazy man.
I'm surprised he hasn't invited you over to his mom's house for some of that casserole.
No thanks.
I'm surprised he hasn't got you into running shoes yet. I guess that's next.
That's not so
No,
far
he's not-
fetched.
No.
And Larry,
Walking fast, maybe, but running, no.
we do have somebody in Canada in the background tonight. I don't know if she's still there or not. But just Larry has shared this several times that what he has gotten back in his sobriety is his family, and
Right.
they will be taking a trip, hopefully.
To the Canadian Rockies.
Yes, it was postponed from last July because of COVID. So hopefully, they can keep everybody in a bubble this year so that they can make that plan come true. So, it's
All right, I'm going to go, and, maybe somebody else wants to call in, and just want to check in, see about the goat situation, and have a nice Easter.
Yes.
Okay.
And this
Yeah.
is my
Nope.
sister Sandy from California.
Hi, Larry.
Hello, how are you?
Pretty good. I hear you call in all the time. Feel like
He
I
is
know
a
you.
You
regular.
I got to harass somebody, so I pick them every Friday night.
And I'll try not to accidentally send one of them fainting goats over this year. I know you had a hard time at that one.
Yeah.
When it
Yeah,
peed on the
hopefully
floor, you yelled at it
sacrifice,
and passed out.
Yeah.
Well,
And we do have a family member that raises goats, believe it or not.
yes, I do. Goats are my favorite.
They're
things.
their sister.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Both of them. Yes. The third sister.
You're
Yes,
such an
actually
ass.
raised goats. Sandy forgot that, but she can't remember shit. 'cause
Even though
told
she
me already.
babysits the goat sometimes, she forgot that our sister
God.
raises
She even
goats.
assisted in the castration process. But that's another story for another night.
Yeah, I was witness to
So
that.
we could get you goats really fresh.
Yeah.
We just
Oh,
got to get
good.
it back from
Appreciate
California.
that.
Though.
Yes.
Yeah, we just have to ship them in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But thanks
Great.
again, Larry. You're always welcome. You always are here to.
You're always a breath of fresh air to
You
our
are.
show, Larry.
You're awesome.
I always enjoy your
Yeah.
company.
I appreciate your.
Just to brush my teeth. Yeah.
And if I was allowed off the step, I would go out with you and Bob more often.
Yeah. All right, I'm out of here.
All right,
Have a
you-
good holiday,
Bye.
everybody.
Have a
Good to hear
happy
from you, man.
Easter.
God
Happy
bless.
Easter.
All right,
Good night.
see ya.
Good night.
Goodbye.
What a nice man.
Yes, he's a very nice man, and I'm so
And a
grateful.
great sense of humor.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that he is so supportive to us. Christine says, "Thank you, Lori. I'm just doing what has been suggested to keep me sober, but I'm extremely grateful." And that's the gratitude in recovery is amazing. Once you get there, once you see all that's been given, And to be able to give that back is amazing. It really is. It truly is.
Most normies out there, as we like to call them, have no idea how large the recovery community is. It is gigantic. It's unbelievable. It's,
And
you
that's
know,
just with the people we know.
right, right. It expands way beyond that.
And people are always. I'm in the middle of a educational piece on one of the feeds on Facebook, and I'm trying to be very tactful and polite. And only because I know where I was that judgmental person, and the education on helping the next person or learning what recovery looks like, but knowing that there's so many people out there that are not speaking out, that you don't know are anonymous, and you could be working right next to that person, you could be related to that person,
Yeah.
and because they want to stay anonymous, because they may be of an older generation where, the anonymity was what it was based on. Anonymity started killing people. So many people were dying because it was so anonymous. And nobody knew that there was a way out, that there was hope, that there was a future.
And that they weren't alone.
Right.
And I heard something really interesting. I was thinking of you, Christine, today. That some municipalities and cities and such are banning the airport side bottles. I heard that today on the news for many reasons because of
Got everybody panicked.
because the rampant alcoholism and how easy it is to smuggle and the litter and the trash. And some of these places, I don't remember which ones it were. I'll look it up more and more. I just happened to hear it on a news clip that they've seen a reduction in the things that go along with alcohol. Because I'm sure a lot of people smuggle it in to work and stuff. And all Christine told us. And I was thinking of you today. I was like, wow, people are
She
noticing
just-
that these
yeah,
little
she just
bottles are a
showed-
problem.
And I just shared this not too long ago. I was in Walmart and here's a Fireball, airport bottle sitting in a cup, that they're selling and I've been seeing so many
Yeah.
of them just discarded on a shelf in Walmart in, different places. And oh my gosh.
You're always in parking lots and stuff on the road.
Yeah.
On the side of the road.
I always thought just people coming off a flight, Hey.
Well, I just figured
Well,
it was somebody underage that,
Yeah.
got somebody to get them. I had no idea.
It's just so much easier to conceal something small like that
Right.
and get away with your addiction.
And Christine's story, I was just like,
Blown away, yeah.
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 Because you don't think about that. You
No.
it's legal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
whole different ballgame when it's legal.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And people have a different outlook on alcohol because of being a legal substance. Oh, he was so trash last night. They don't know that he's trashed every night. It may be hidden behind that door, behind that curtain. It's just amazing when you come into the recovery.
Boston is banning them. That's one of the ones I'm looking it up.
Okay. And, might be happening in a neighborhood near you because, education, again, once Boston puts it out there, they start seeing, the litter and a less amount being found in workplaces or stores, that might follow on to other states, to other cities, to other.
That's a misleading headline, isn't it? Yeah, Mark.
But that is, that's the thing. And here I am
How you
with
ban that?
with my with a loved one, and we get out of the car, and lo and behold, what is there in the parking lot but a needle? And I'm just like, this is so sad because if she had been in early recovery, that could have set her off right into
Yeah.
a relapse. And she shared that, you know, she got that overwhelming feeling from it. Not that she would act on it, because she knows the importance of her sobriety. And that's when we need to say, you know, speak up, let them know. I know that early in her recovery, I got out of the car and I was just blown away at the crack trash cans, they call them, I don't know, flip tops or whatever. There was a handful of them right outside my door, and needles. And I'm like, the fine establishment that it was in, I went in and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And they came out. And every time I go into this store, I look, and they're very adamant on keeping that parking lot up now. So
You know, one of the biggest reasons they don't want to ban them bottles, because there's such a markup on them. The profit for the
Oh, I'm
liquor
sure.
stores
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
I'm sure.
That's what it's all about.
I'm
I'm
sure.
just starting to read into it a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm sure, because, you know, quantity does become less, you know? It's
What do they nickname them bottles? I can't remember. What do they nickname them? Them little,
I think
little,
they
little
call
bottles.
them nips.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
nips.
Yeah. That's what they call them.
They're laughing about it in the article here. And
But,
Boston banning nips.
Yes. We have 10 minutes left. If anybody has anything on their mind, any stressing about anything, especially since it is a holiday weekend, please give us a call in at 267-737-8031. We are here. We are listening. And we are supporting. Here we are we will never judge you for anything that that you share with us. We will never judge you for that, because, you know, that's not what we're about. We're here to completely support you wherever you're at,
Take a picture
whether
of that.
you are active, whether you are in recovery, whether, you know, you're a family member. That's what we're here for. We're just here to help. We're here to share. We're here to, you know, pop in the comments, you know, anything that may be struggling. If you do feel that this is something that needs to be, you know, put out there, please don't hesitate to subscribe, share, and like. Because there's so many people out there just not knowing where to go or how to get there. And if any one of us here or in the feed can help that next person, you know, that's what this is about, just helping. Because I know where I was when I found out my loved one had a substance use disorder. I had no idea where to turn. I had no idea how to help. And, you know, through education, through helping, through it all, I have to say, you know, these types of you know, things. I watch so many feeds that do the same type of thing, and they are usually people in recovery that does that. There's not very many that I know that are for families. And that's why I'm here. I'm here for the families. I'm here for the person suffering. I'm here for the person in treatment. I'm here for the person in recovery.
We're
I'm
here
here
to make it easier for people. Unlike those for us, we didn't know where to turn at first. So we're trying to
Right.
make it easier and less painful
and
for
that's
family
why
members to seek help and to find out
Right.
what to do. And to help those in active addiction. This isn't just for people and families. This is for people that are still suffering in active addiction. You call in. We got contacts. We got people. We got a good ear. We'll help you out any way we can. This is for everybody and anybody. Families, people in substance use disorder, friends of people, and so, and you know, no matter what the scenario may be.
And I don't care
We're
where
here.
you are. I may be
And we're not just being corny and saying that.
Right.
We mean that. That's why we do what we do.
I may be in Pennsylvania, but I will look for every source I can if you're anywhere else. I have, people that I can contact in Canada that can help me, find resources in Canada. I have people that can help me find resources in, different parts of the country. And, you know, that's what it's here. That's what I am here. I'm just here to help, and I'm always available.
I had
Just-
somebody in Russia, but I haven't been able to get in touch with him right now for a while, so I don't know what the hell's going on out
He's
there.
such an ass.
I did.
But I
Come
mean,
up and give me a handshake every weekend down at the Ave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's,
but this is what it's about. That's what we're here for. We're here to do what I didn't know what to do. I'm hoping that this is helping somebody. And that's why it's important to share it out, because you never know who may need to hear it. You may be surprised that, it's somebody that that's struggling and doesn't know where to turn to. They may just be sitting in the background listening. And I don't care. I don't care if they reach out. I don't care if they sit in the background, just as long as, they're hearing something from somebody in this. This isn't my show. This is our show. This is, our support. Everybody is helping in these feeds when they share their experience, strength, and hope. It's, they're them helping, the next person that has lost somebody, and how to get through that, and how to stay as strong as somebody can stay losing a loved one. But that's what it's about. And that's why we're here. And, I'm going to be here for as long as you keep tuning in, because, I know that this is what is needed. I know that this is what helped me get as strong as I have gotten. And, Mama Static, love. Till next week, folks. You have a very happy Easter. Hope you're doing something with the family. Hope you see the grand. That's what we're here for. We're showing the love. Eric's my man, and he's in Ohio.
Ohio.
and
Bringing up
he's-
different ethnicities. If anybody knows a group out there of any specific ethnicity, be Polish or that does anything in recovery or helps anybody, reach out to us and drop us a line, because we're often, I come in contact with people with people in active addiction who come from different ethnic backgrounds where their parents speak like no English. You know what I mean? I that's what happened with my Russian guy there. I was trying to find some kind of help, some church like a Russian type church or something, and I was having a really hard time finding anybody that could communicate and do. So if anybody knows any groups like that, man, why don't drop us a line? We'll put them in our Rolodex. Somebody that we could reach out to.
A Rolodex.
Did I just show my age?
He still doesn't know there's a memo pad on his
whatever.
phone.
You know what I meant. I'm an old man. Don't let this boyish figure fool you. I'm not as young as I
A
was.
Rolodex.
But we'll put them in our contacts. So that if we should need to reach out. So that's definitely it. If anybody knows any groups, like through a church or whatever, for whatever reason, that deals with addictions and addictions counseling or support or anything, or anything like that. I mean, they deal with grief or whatever, or you know what I'm saying? Man, drop us a line and give us that number. We're glad to have it.
It's something that is really needed. And with that being said, we have 1 minute left. I want to wish everybody a very happy Easter. If unfortunately you do not have your loved one at the table this year, I'm hoping and praying that they seek the treatment that's needed for this, so that they can be at your table next year, and living a happy, sober life. I hope everybody has a great Easter. Don't pick up the brown eggs.
I'd like to thank my friend out there in Canada for all her help today and the wonderful road trip we had.
Yes. It
Oh,
was,
Canada.
oh, Canada.
You know who you are. I love you to death.
So with that being said, it's 10:30. Everybody have a very happy Easter, Passover, whatever you celebrate, or Ramadan,
Whatever
whatever it is that you're celebrating. God bless. Have a safe Easter. And we are out of here. Till next Friday. Next Friday we have John Crombar on the show.
Live, the Prince of
Live.
Parkwood, live and in the
Prince.
flesh, in the Forsaken Studios.
Yeah.
But that being said, people, all I got to say is, hey, recovery works if you work it.
Peace out, everybody.
Love y'all. Good night.
Now to figure out how to stop it.
If we can figure out how to turn it off, we'll be in good shape.
Night, everybody.